From the 915 to H-Town, from the Panhandle Plains to the Valley, and everywhere in between. This is the 50/50 podcast, powered by National Scouting Report. Join me, Hector Cano, as we cover the Texas high school club and college soccer landscape, along with an inside look at the college soccer recruiting scene. The 50/50 podcast is a platform about the people and for the people who are dedicated to the beautiful game. Here we go, day 2, live from beautiful Moody Gardens here in Galveston, Texas, at the 2023 Texas High School Soccer Coaches Convention. And our first guest of the day, it's a tandem crew. It's a coaching staff. We are joined by the head women's soccer coach and the assistant women's soccer coach of the Lake Travis Cavaliers, Coach Will Maloney and Emma Fox. Coaches, good morning.
Good morning. We appreciate you coming or having us on. We're big fans.
Absolutely. Thank you. Big fans of you guys as well, man. Obviously, us Region 4 folks got to look out for each other, right? So even though there's that healthy, right, San Antonio-Austin rivalry. So how's it going so far?
We're good, man. TASCO has been awesome. We got in early yesterday, caught a couple sessions, and really the biggest thing, I think, is the camaraderie and get the networking that you get to meet all the coaches and kind of pick their brains. We went to dinner with all the other 26 6A coaches last night, which was really fun.
Yeah.
Again, we talked about that healthy rivalry between San Antonio and Austin, but the inner rivalry within the districts, but still having that kind of camaraderie ship is really, really awesome.
Yeah. So you guys come all the way to Galveston just to go have dinner with everyone from Austin, right? Is that how that works?
Exactly.
That's always how it goes. How about you, Coach?
I'm excited to be here. This is my second year. It was fun getting to meet all of the 6A coaches yesterday. I hadn't met them before, and they welcomed me with open arms. So I'm excited for the weekend.
Awesome. Good deal. So thoughts, where obviously you've been here. This is not your first rodeo here. I see you around. We were trying to get you on yesterday, just couldn't link up schedules. But everywhere I see you, man, I see Coach Maloney. It's like he's running for mayor, right? I see. But no, it's great. Yeah, you're right. The camaraderie piece is big here. It's awesome. Question I guess I have for both of you right out of the gate is thoughts kind of on day one in terms of just the experience, the vibe. What you guys pick up? What's your key takeaways from day one?
I think TASCO has done a really good job of building the coaches and the higher level and the more famous coaches, I guess, or the more experienced coaches to kind of lead these awesome sessions. Like we got Arsenal U17 coming all the way from England. So getting to kind of watch that and see what these coaches do. This morning we watched the Grand Valley coach for the Toros. Yeah. And so kind of getting to see the highest level and what they do there and comparing it to what we do at the high school level has been really, really awesome. And so we're appreciative of TASCO for kind of doing that for all of us coaches.
Yeah. Emma?
Yeah, I agree. Seeing all of the high-level coaches being able to come out and support the high school scene is really important. And it's important for us to learn back from them as well. So it's been really cool to not only see other high school coaches leading sessions, but
No, I think it's just getting to see, not necessarily surprises, but I used to work up in McKinney. I'm from the DFW area. I get to go and hang out with the coaches that coached me in Texas high school soccer.
Right.
And so just getting to see everyone once a year is what we kind of look forward to every year. So again, this weekend and TASCO having this is really, really special for me.
Yeah. So talk about, so last year was your first year at the helm, right? In charge of making the jump from the men's side to the women's side there at Lake Travis. Tell us what you look back at last year, right? What was maybe your key takeaways from last year going into this year?
So one thing that we wanted to really focus on in the off season is, and what we were very talented last year. We were very young last year. And the big focus this offseason has been building more camaraderie within the team and within the program, and making sure that they are fully bought in to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we've been working very hard in the summer, building kind of leadership within the girls and accountability, and having them be the ones that push each other. So it's been awesome to see that. Again, we have very, very strong leaders within this group from all ages, which is what we want to build. We don't want just senior leaders. We want junior leaders, sophomore leaders, freshman leaders. And so them stepping up to the plate has been really awesome to see. Yeah. And then one big thing, and the biggest adjustment, I think, going from boys soccer to girls soccer is really focusing on the ACL prevention, which was a huge eye-opener to me last year. We had... Did you guys experience that last year? Within going into playoffs, we're talking a week before we kick off against Round Rock Westwood, we lose our starting winger to an ACL injury, which was a killer. And then the next game we lost the next person up. So we lost back-to-back wingers, and we lost about 30 goal contributions going into playoffs. And so we were obviously very, very devastated for our team, but you almost feel as a coach you're letting them down within our preparation to prepare them. So again, that's been a big emphasis this summer, this offseason, making sure Coach Fox has actually been really, really awesome within that, but making sure those girls are ready and prepared for the kind of rigor of a season, and making sure we can prevent or set them up to not have those kind of injuries.
Right. Yeah, and it's tough. And excuse me, I was actually having this conversation yesterday with one of the coaches here. Actually, it was with Chris Sharp from Elmo Heights. We were talking about, and another coach as well, but we were talking about how it's really become an epidemic, right? And a lot of what we're seeing in our players, especially our club players, right, is like they don't rest. They don't rest, or they're led to feel guilty for not doing anything for a weekend or for a couple of days, right? They feel like they're not somehow grinding, or excuse me, or their opportunity to go play at the college level, they're going to get passed over because they took a few days off. They took a week off, right? So amongst other things as well. But I see that, as you know, we're all over social media, and we see that in a lot of our athletes, right? There's their, club weekend, 3 games, showcases, all this stuff, and then personal sessions on top of that. They're in the weight room, and then 0 rest time, and then and then what our high school season is like, right? The number of games in there. So it's tough. So what can we do? What can we adjust? How can we adjust recovery days? And I've had that conversation, with my girls there at MacArthur as well. And one of the things that we're trying to do is very much so in the weight room. We get in there. I call it prehab. We do a lot of prehab stuff, a lot of mini band work. Exactly. And I really went to that probably about 3, maybe 4 years ago in my coaching career on that, prototypically at the varsity level, our games, Tuesday, Fridays normally. That Wednesday has really become a recovery day, right? And a true sense of, regenerative, not stepping on the field unless we really need it kind of thing. And educating our girls, educating our student athletes on that. So yeah, very, very much so. I'm curious, Emma, what have you brought in from that perspective with the girls here at Lake Travis?
Well, whenever I came on, Coach Maloney talked to me about all the injuries last year and kind of gave me the task of helping him prevent it, this season. So I've done a lot of research. We've talked to a lot of strength and conditioning coaches, and we've kind of created this program to help them out. And we haven't had one yet, knock on wood. So it's been really well.
Tell them what we do on Mondays. Tell them what we do on Mondays.
On Mondays, so it's kind of like our rest day. We have, we bring all the girls out. We do band work. We work on hip mobility, because that's super big with your knees. If you have, hip mobility and strengthen your hips, and your knees won't give out as often. All kinds of band work. We do change of direction, some jumps, stuff like that, working on their balance. But it's just a good mixture of all 3 of those things, and it's worked really well.
Yeah, and so then we go Wednesdays, leg day, single legs, box jumps, things like that, just getting them used to strengthening everything. And then we've added, and I'm very, very proud of the girls within this, which we haven't done. We have Tuesday and Thursdays before school lifting.
Yeah.
And so we've gotten 30, 40 girls in the program coming in at 7 a.m., having that kind of accountability and getting after it in the morning.
That is awesome.
So they're getting almost 4 days a week of just kind of injury prevention within that.
How have they responded to that?
I was surprised. I didn't know I didn't know how they were going to take it at first, or how many people would show up. But again, they've and this is what I really love about this group. They accepted it, they wanted it, and now they're kind of leading it within that. So
good. That's awesome. Great stuff. So obviously, we shift here. We start talking about we looked at last year. What was maybe your personal lesson? Because last year, correct me if I'm wrong, last year was your first year as a head coach, correct?
No. So I actually, and we can go back, I guess, from the beginning, I got to do a student teaching and volunteer assistant coaches at Alito in 2018. And so I got to play under, and who coached me, Derek Beerling, who was the Hall of Honor. He's in the Hall of Honor. He's a great guy. I got that experience, got to go on a state run in 2018. From there, I got to coach as the varsity assistant in McKinney under Alan Pocock, who's another Hall of Honor guy. And then from there, I got to move closer to home because I'm from Alito. And I was the head coach at Azle boys for 2 years. And then
I was just talking to their coach.
And so I got to do that. And then Coach Bamel came calling for Lake Travis. And so that's where we are now. So this will be my 4th year as a head coach.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. So last year though, but was it your first year on the women's side?
Yes.
It was.
Sure.
Okay. So maybe that's what I was thinking. So making that jump, right? What was maybe the biggest lesson for you personally?
The biggest lesson for me personally, I think, again, was the recovery time needed between Tuesdays and Fridays. Again, especially on the girls' side, if they have a off day or an off weekend, meaning they don't have anything planned, they're going to have something planned for that. They're going to go to a showcase, or they're going to go to a ID camp, or they're going to get the personal training in.
It's literally what we just talked about, right?
So just realizing that those Wednesdays are really important. We don't need really that hard extra practice on Wednesday. We need to sit down, watch some film, recover, get those bodies right, and get ready to go on Friday, because I think we were very, very strong the first half of district, and then towards that back half of district and going into playoffs, we were a little banged up. So managing, I think, their bodies and their mindsets to go and kind of peak at the end of the season versus kind of the middle of the district.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the biggest takeaway.
So we look at this year, right? We look at your second year now, and obviously you get a great steal now in your new assistant, right? And Coach Fox. What are your thoughts the upcoming season as you look into this season? What has you maybe the most excited?
Yeah, I think again, I came in last year, and I'm kind of seeing the pieces. And we had a very high emphasis in, hey, this is going to be a 2 and 3 year process that we're building here. And so we are going to be very, very young, and we have a lot of young talent. And so we're going to throw them into the fire and see how they do. And we are very fortunate in that our younger players stepped up incredibly last year, and they were playing like juniors and seniors by the time the season ended. And so going from an inexperienced team to where we didn't have maybe those eyes and those expectations to now all these girls know what it takes to be at that highest level. They're ready for it. They want it. They're hungry. And so again, just seeing the hunger within the girls, and that the cool thing about Lake Travis is we're always expected to compete at the very top. We don't expect to tie a game. We don't expect to lose a game. The girls don't expect to do that. And so not winning a district championship, not winning a playoff game, these girls want it really bad. Yeah.
Now, Coach Fox, you're making that jump, right, from the head coach right at Lampasas to the assistant now here at Lake Travis. How's that adjustment been for you?
It's been really great. Whenever I was leaving Lampasas, my goal was to learn a lot. And so I'm so grateful that they came and kind of reached out to me and then took me on to be their assistant. And I have learned a lot from Coach Maloney, Coach Bamel. We talk every single day. So mainly growth was one of the big things. I went to be a head coach straight out of college, and it was a learning process to say the least. So it's been really special to be at Lake Travis and see how the top dogs do it.
Yeah, I remember the first time I became a head coach, and that was the amount of things that you have to do that are not generally not soccer related whatsoever. Is just it's mind blowing. So yeah. So we look at one of the things I wanted to comment about, Coach, is, will you do an exceptional job of championing your former athletes, right? Your alums that are now that are killing it at the college level, right?
Yeah.
And I think as we need to be advocates for our athletes, right? As high school coaches, and I'm drawing a blank on her first name right now, but you have her sister here right now. She's going to Lamar, but older sister Farrell. She's at the Air Force Academy. Peyton, there you go, Peyton.
Mia Farrell and the Brecken Farrells. We love the Farrell family. They're great. They're a great family. Amy and Dustin are great parents, and they do all the right things. And we love that family in Lake Travis.
I just wanted to give a little shout out there to Peyton, since she's killing it at my former stomping grounds at the Air Force Academy. So I was glad to see her starting to shine at the end there,
and she got a bunch of playing time this year. I think she started almost every single game, and then Mia Farrell signed last weekend, and she surprised her. She flew down from Air Force and came down, so it was awesome to see her again.
Headed to Lamar, right?
Lamar University,
that's a hot program right now.
Yeah, they're doing all the things right. And so funny enough, I don't know if you know Amelia Clark. She's one of our sophomore midfielders. She has twin sisters that played for Lamar, and they were the two center mids this year. So we got a little Lake Travis to Lamar connection.
There you go. Awesome. Great stuff. So talk a little bit about your district here, and maybe a little bit of Region 4 talk. What are your thoughts? I always like to ask coaches this, right? Is different districts kind of take on different characteristics, different personalities, the style of play, what have you. How would you describe maybe your district?
Our district, I think, is more wide open than it ever has been in the past. I think we have a very nice balance in that we have a lot of free flowing attacking styles. The girls are kind of trained in it within all the clubs as well to be that possession based, attacking based. And then we have a lot of very, very intelligent coaches who are very defensive minded, and they'll do a low block, or they'll make it very difficult for those attacking senses. And so we get to see a lot of different looks within the district. And so, but again, I think for the most part, the top 3 or 4 teams we're not going to pack it in for anybody. And so it's good. It's good attacking soccer.
There you go.
Super
Awesome.
Exciting.
All right. I'll put you on the spot here.
Yeah.
So, the 2023-2024 season for the Lake Travis Cavaliers will be a success if
again, I'm not going to put success into wins and losses. I want our girls to compete, have fun, get after it. But again, our goal is always to win a district championship first, and then take this thing as far as we can. So again, if we can make it to that regional tournament, that's our goal. And then beyond that, I think we're very, very excited about the girls want it, and ultimately that's always our goal.
Yeah. That'll be great. Well, we'll definitely, you make that regional tournament, I will most likely see you. You guys will be coming down to San Antonio, unless we're playing in it as well, because then I would be somewhere else. But I don't know. I don't want to, knock on wood there. So as we start wrapping up here, Coach, thoughts on maybe Region 4 as a whole? Just key takeaways, your thoughts on that.
Yeah, and so it's kind of funny because I'm obviously a DFW guy, and when you are a DFW guy and you're a Region 1 guy, or a Region 2 if you're 5A, you think soccer, you think that's it. The best soccer is in DFW, right? And you kind of don't take, I'm not going to say not take the others as seriously, but they're not as respected in the DFW mind. Right. And so I came down with BAML, or in Region 4 on the boys side. Man, it's a gauntlet. Region 4 is very, very deep. It's very, very competitive. I think.
And Austin, Austin's come a long way.
And Austin has come a long way. On the boys side and the girls side, I think. Anybody, you saw New Braunfels last year. Competed very, very hard against Westwood. They beat a San Antonio team in the first round. And so it's not just San Antonio and Austin. Right. So again,
what looks like to be a soon to be 5A New Braunfels. I don't know if you saw those numbers, that they look like they're supposedly projecting a 5A now. So.
Yeah, their coach does a lot of good stuff there. I've gotten to know him a little bit. But it's not just San Antonio and Austin. It's a dogfight every single night, every single round. And so again, I was very, very surprised and very impressed with Region 4 soccer.
Awesome. Good stuff. Great stuff. So as we start wrapping up here, coaches, kind of this is your time, stoppage time, as we call it, right? Kind of free, the free time, balls in your court, if you will, on the field, whatever you want to call it, right? To kind of shout outs, thank yous, anything you'd like to address. You can just look into that camera there and just share any thoughts as it relates to the game. Anything, the floor is yours.
Yeah. So first thing, again, I mentioned Derek Fairling, the head coach at Aledo High School right now. He's very, very important to my life. He's a very huge mentor to me. He should be here this weekend. He's on the board at TASCO. He's going through a little bit of a personal illness right now. And so he's not going to be back on the field this season. But Derek, we're thinking about you, man.
Awesome.
We're hoping that you can get back on the field soon and impact a bunch more lives.
Awesome. Well said, Coach. Coach, how about you? Anything?
I'm just excited for this season, excited to see 6A soccer being at the top of it all. It's a big change, and I'm ready for all of the things that it will entail.
Awesome. Great stuff. Well, again, coaches, really appreciate you guys. Wishing you all the absolute best in the upcoming season as well. And again, for our listeners, don't go anywhere. We'll be coming back, got a full slate of interviews today to bringing to you live here from Moody Gardens here in Galveston, Texas at the 2023 Texas High School Soccer Coaches Convention. So don't go anywhere, and we'll be back soon.